that we can resist this. There are all kinds of ways
Yes.
to resist this, but we can't wait until it's in place before we start the resistance. I think what we're seeing now, even though I believe vaccines can be important and are an important part of fighting back against COVID, we're seeing a lot of overstep here. And we're seeing, I believe, the rudiments of a social credit system put into place that makes people.
Right. I'm really interested in, because you mentioned that in an email to me, and I'm really interested in what you mean by that.
Sure. Well, in China, the government is able to control everybody through what they call a social credit system. Very briefly, the government monitors everything everybody does through their smartphones, through their internet, and so on and so forth. And it knows where you've been, who you've talked to, et cetera. If you talk to positive people and are engaged in positive things according to the government, then you get a higher social credit rating, you get more privileges, you can shop in the better stores, travel more, et cetera. But if you talk to bad people or do things like go to church, you get a lower rating, and gradually your circles are constricted where you can't even, at the worst level, you can no longer buy or sell. Now, Christians should recognize that not being able to buy or sell if you don't participate. Well, I think this is coming to America. It's not going to come the same way it has come in China, being enforced by the government. But I think corporations are going to have a role to play in this too. By if they get away with this with the vaccine mandate, what's next? If you don't, if you're a dissenter from wokeness, if you're considered a racist or some other kind of bigot,
or climate change or anything like that.
Right. You can't get a bank account. That's happened in England with some far right people. If it happens to the far right people, well, what happens when they move the line about what constitutes far right or domestic terrorists? This is here now, and it's coming, and people have to wake up. They have to understand, Mark, that we can resist this. There are all kinds of ways to resist this, but we can't wait until it's in place before we start the resistance.